Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, you are viewing the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pleasure being with you all on this fine Thursday night, viewers. So before we go any further, you all know Real Talk is offering you 4% on fixed deposit. Now, 4% on fixed deposit is the highest. It's the highest interest rate that is being paid on any fixed deposit presently in the financial sector in Trinidad and Tobago, and you're only getting it at Real Talk. Now, viewers, you can also be members of the Real Talk Credit Union Information. Remember that. Also, if you're looking for cash borrow and you don't know where to turn, you can contact me. I am Saieed Ali. I am a licensed money lender in Trinidad and Tobago. Our company is located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas and number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village in San Fernando. So we have two branches, viewers, Central and South. You can contact our office, viewers. Our number will be on screen shortly. Contact our office, set up an appointment, come down and meet us. We have the highest interest rate on fixed deposit for 5 years in Trinidad and Tobago. The highest. So remember that, viewers. Now, remember, Real Talk Group consists of a few companies. We have Real Talk with Saieed Ali on television, Synergy Television. We have Real Talk Real Estate. We have Real Talk Finance and Investment. We have Real Talk Equipment Rental. We have Real Talk Security and Intelligence. We have Real Talk, very soon, Real Talk Finance and Investment in Guyana also. And from next week, viewers, we're going to be launching Real Talk Wrecking Service. So, if you have a crash to transport, you're shut down, you're in an accident, you have something to transport, viewers, you can contact Real Talk at 238-6716 or 267-7325. Remember that, viewers, 238-6716 or 267-7325. For wrecking, as of next week, it's going to be a service to Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, it's only by accident we shall meet. Or if you have something to transport from point A to point B, we have the perfect vehicle to move your goods. So, as we start off tonight, I'm also a spiritual consultant. Those of you having spiritual problems, you can feel free to contact me. Areas Commission of Inquiry, Chairman Jeremy Lynch, KC, have stated that to date, no one has helped the family of the 4 divers killed in last February's tragedy at Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited, point-of-care operation, or surviving diver Christopher Bodram with any financial compensation. Now keep in mind, viewers, this is Jeremy Lynch. He is the chairman of the Paria Commission of Inquiries, and he is telling this to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody assisted the family thus far. Thus far. He also lamented that the families of Bodram did not receive any form of ex-gratuity payment from any companies involved in the inquiry or the government. While confident that the government would make the report public, Lynn said he regretted he did not have the legal authority to provide Bodram and the families with copies of the 380-page report. Is there any lawyer in Trinidad and Tobago that could assist the Bodram family in getting this 380-page document that Jeremy Lynch is talking about? Feel free to do so. Contact the family. You never know, it could be your family too. Now, after the report is submitted to Kangaloo, it will be sent to the cabinet, which will study it and determine the next step. Imagine 4 people die and them had to study some papers to find out what is the next step. They value your life? Lynn said it was public pressure which caused a commissioner of inquiry to happen. So let's hope now, with public pressure, somebody is going to be held accountable for what took place. The public, he continued, wanted to know the truth about what happened, why it happened, why so little was done to rescue the divers, and how such a tragedy could be prevented in the future. Lynch also urged people to set aside the blame game and remember the human element at the core of the tragedy. Lynch praised Bodram as one who drove the commissioner to uncover the truth about the tragedy. So Trinidad and Tobago, let's hope that this goes public. I mean, we have so much of prominent lawyers in Trinidad and Tobago. You mean these lawyers cannot come together and assist these families with legal assistance? You mean all only want money for rape case, all only want money for murder case, all want money for larceny, all want money for everything? What about give back to the community? Huh? What about do a little good and good will open up to you? All don't believe in them thing? All don't believe in them thing? When all are small growing up, they believe in Christmas, they believe in Christmas is a time of giving. Somebody die, all they know about giving. That's why you see me as a man who like my light and who will fall on that, you'll be the hard luck with you. Because everybody is want to be stingy. So much of prominent lawyers in Trinidad and Tobago, and not one lawyer could come out in the public domain and say, you know what? I am going to talk to 2 or 3 the friends of mine who are in the law fraternity, and we are going to assist the divers and them with legal matters. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. It's sad, boy. It's really sad. Call a good night.
Side, these blasted politicians, Kamala and Rowley and them, the only house I think they should be in is an outhouse. We should build one outside and they use it and give them to use it. They don't need to be in the house up there because they only thinking of the place. There is a waste of blasted time. They had it. Can I imagine I need 70 with Gerrit Granger and all of them. And we need to realize that people like Ramesh Maharaj and all these fellas that Rafiq Shah, these militant people who train in Sanhos, they should come out and they just march. I'm willing to close up my church and go and march, you know. I'm willing to go and march because I mean it's stupidness. It's sick. It's sickening. What the hell these people are doing? I'm not voting for Kamala. Kamala didn't vote for Gary Griffith when he was going to for commissioner of police, you know. You know that? And the reason that Rowley and them call off the crime symposium, because Griffith was coming in that, and they would get a mind. Why the hell she cannot see that? She blinded or something like that? In the eye of, you know something? Shakespeare say one time, he said, a coward die 1,000 times and over, but a brave man die but once. And this nation, we need to get up and march on the Red House. I'm willing to go anytime. I march already and I'm going to march again to get these bitches on the motor out of our parliament and spending our money, and we can't get no protection or nothing from them. They have to come out of power, definitely.
Thank you, my friend. Let me tell you something. Other countries, people protesting right through, you know. Right through. The other day, I'll tell you something. As a Muslim, I don't condemn, you know. But I'll tell you something. We protesting in Trinidad for Palestine. They have them war with Hamas going on donkey years now. But we in Trinidad, electricity bill going up, water rate going up, gas went up twice this year. Cost of living going up, and we are marching for as much as a mosquito biting our body. But we marching. We marching for Gaza. We marching for Hamas bombing Israel, Palestine. War going on across, and we marching here. As a Muslim who vex, you know. The truth is the truth. What your marching Trinidad going to do to them across? They absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. What your march going to do in Trinidad and Tobago for 2 or 3 days marching is going to cause a rippling effect on the government, and we could get things done. We don't see it like that. We don't see it like that. So moving along. Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, have stated that security has been strengthened at the Caroni Licensing Office, while officials are assessing whether additional security measures are required after an arson attack over the weekend. Responding to the arson attack, Sinanan stated that the licensing office at Caroni has armed security 24/7 at the compound. is outfitted with CCTV cameras to detect instances of wrongdoing. However, he said, despite this security mechanism, the military continue to assess whether there should be additional security. Sinanan also added that currently an assessment is being done with the assistance of law enforcement to make recommendations for the way forward. Listen to this.
Mr. President, the license office at Caroni currently has armed security 24/7, which conducts periodic and random patrols during the course of the day and night. In addition, the compound is currently outfitted with CCTV cameras to detect instances of wrongdoing. In spite of the rigid security mechanisms we have in place, the ministry continues to analyze whether there is need for additional security. Currently, an assessment is being done with the assistance of law enforcement agencies with a view to ascertain what additional security may be needed and to make recommendations for the way forward. I thank you.
Of yours, however, he was unable to give a definite answer on when the assessment will be concluded. Caller, good night.
A very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend.
While you're on the topic of licensing office, those vehicles that was destroyed was impounded vehicles.
Correct.
And the only reason those vehicles was destroyed because whoever orchestrated that act was to cover up something. But at the same time, what I already called you to tell you, remember in the U.S. when James Floyd, when Derek Chauvin, the policeman, placed his knee on James Floyd's neck and killed him?
Yeah.
Right. And we had a big protest in the Savannah for that.
Correct.
This government have their knee on our necks, and we're not protesting, no limits.
Thank you, my friend. And this is the thing was we saying. We protesting for our next country. But we're not protesting for our own country. Anybody say anything about TNTech? Nobody even protest yet. TNTech about to hit only a 38% to a 50% increase come January. Because in December, they are going to put every single thing, every protocol in place for them to hit you a bill in January. And by May, June, you know what happened? Some workers from Wassa go in, and it's an increase again in Wassa all again. I'll come talk now. Somebody march now. Somebody march. Where are all the union leaders? I will continue to say this. The union leaders in Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, we could have a great impact of a march and cause immediate change in Trinidad and Tobago. But the head of the union needs to come out. And whoever controlling the head of the union and have them in a gear where they cannot come out. Well, I got to tell you something. When you hear workers start to dip in their pocket and they realize their pocket ain't deep enough, I hope some of them union leaders ready to resign and go home, you know. They quite telling all later. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
To you, my friend.
Real partner, the imitation vaccine regard.
Talk to me.
Let's talk about union leaders. Union leaders are suffering because their membership has basically decreased. So they can't fill the pocket and get high wages. So you know what has happened to them now? They're taking state jobs. The state offering them. For example, the industrial court, 2 members of the executive of BIGW, Bankers and Workers Union, and judges there now. The other day I see this fella from JTAM, they call him Ozzy. They put him on the minimum wage board. So you see how they are backing a certain political party. Just like the police, the police and them just want to go for screening. So that is why the union's mouth is zipped. But what I want to talk to critically, you see them pariahs, divers who have lost their lives. I want to know who was responsible for moving from rescue to recovery. Somebody turned the lights out on them divers, because this is what Lynn said, Lynn said it was not an act of God. He said the efforts was little, few, and far apart in trying to save them. And the other one is, he said, it is no unlucky accident. So what he's telling me and what I understand, human beings are responsible for the death. I want to know if the president's office will show integrity and put that file, that report into the public space. And the other thing is, my real partner, the real original vaccine vegan, he wanted to take Gary report and put it in Parliament. He have an opportunity to put this report in Parliament. He are getting away, because he came from the Ayatollah the night and he ran away from a press function. And at the same time, Paria had the issue. So he basically ran from question, basically from the press, to ask him what is the plan for that. And I am under the impression he had an input. I ain't saying he made the decision, but he had an input for moving the decision from rescue to recovery. Who played God in that scenario? See what happened in India? 17 days, they say 41 of them. They dig the tunnel by hand. Karma have a strange way of telling us.
Thank you, my friend. Karma have a way of doing things, So back to our story at the County Licensing Office. Asked by Mark if any measures will be taken in the interim to prevent a recurrence, Sinan said security has been beefed up. Listen to Sinan.
Mr. President, security have been beefed up at the license office, and because this is a very active police investigation, I do not want to say more on this topic at this point in time, but security have been beefed up at the license office, and very soon some major announcements will be made. So Trinidad and Tobago, he said 16 vehicles were damaged in the blaze, including a motorcycle. The overall value of the vehicle is estimated at $720,000, with damages totaling $495,000. We are going for a short commercial break, viewers. A short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear Stuart Young is telling us that he cannot reveal the details of the Dragon gas deal. More after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies company's building at number 14 Gruni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we are offering you 4% on fixed deposit. You can't miss it. Those of you who have USSL, I am interested in buying 339-1670, 238-6716. Contact those two numbers and let's start buying and selling. The Minister of Energy, Stuart Young, has reiterated that government cannot reveal deals of its Dragon gas field deal with Venezuela, as a breach of confidentiality can end the negotiating process and crash a deal this country's sorely needs. This after Opposition Senator Wade Mack called for more transparency over the deals. However, Young said the component of the confidentiality, no matter how people try to water it down, is a reality of these contracts. Listen.
In the energy sector, this is what you trade in, literally at times. A person's credibility and a person's reputation, meaning the country's reputation and its credibility, to uphold sanctity of contracts, to uphold what takes place in a very competitive sector. Because you see, this isn't like the grocery, where it's one grocery competing with another on the corner. We are in this global energy sector that you have other countries competing with Trinidad and Tobago to attract the resources of these multinationals, to attract their capital. So you're constantly competing with other countries as to whether you can bring the capital to Trinidad and Tobago or whether it goes elsewhere in Qatar, in Australia, in Malaysia, and elsewhere.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the minister stated that this is the reason why information should be confidential. Because the deal that TNT will get from Venezuela will differ to the deal that a European company will get. Young added that this government is not trying to hide anything.
We are no longer the single game in town. You come out of the negotiation room, for example, at PDVSA, and you see global energy players. I won't call their names here, but global multinational energy players waiting to enter into the same room to negotiate deals. And that is the reason why this is so critical to be protected, the confidentiality, because the deal that we will get from Venezuela will differ to the deal that a European company will get. And I can tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago here without fear of contradiction once again, that this deal that is not yet across the line, but we're very, very close, very, very close, has only happened as a result of the management by this government of its relationships, for example, with the United States, and of its relationship with the government of Venezuela. So, senators, respectfully, we are not trying to hide anything. At every single stage that the government can provide information, the record shows that we have.
Viewers, he also pointed out that TNT does not possess the ability to independently explore and produce offshore gas and depend on multinational upstream players like Shell and BP. The minister said, we must protect the relationship we have with these companies as they continue to invest globally, as TNT is always competing globally for the capital to be invested in Trinidad. Listen to this, George.
And I'd like to say that we need to protect our relationships with these multinationals, because we never, unlike Malaysia who developed Petronas, we never developed that ability decades ago to do the exploration and production offshore of gas in these fields that we've had. So we must protect very, very carefully the relationships we have with these companies as they continue to invest globally. We are always competing globally for their capital to be invested in Trinidad and Tobago. And they protect and they very jealously guard their brands and their brand protection.
So that was the words of Georgia. Now, Independent Senator Anthony Varela have stated that the government should give the population an idea of its policy for the dragon gas deal with Venezuela. Referring to earlier contributions by Energy Minister Stuart Young, Varela said there is a difference between policy and negotiation. However, he agreed that Young about the need to keep sensitive information confidential while negotiations are ongoing. Varela said the policy provides a framework which guides decision-making in the context. He believed the government could tell the population its policy on the dragon gas deals. I feel the same way strongly about it also. Let the public know. Now, he said, tell Trinidadians and Tobagonians how TNT will benefit from the deal, and noted that the government should give citizens the assurance that this dragon deal is very likely going to be successful. From a policy perspective, Varela suggested that the government should indicate its fallback position to those circumstances. Let me tell you something. The government will tell us what they want. They will blindfold us if they choose. So it's there against here. Call a good night.
Night, Saeed. I just want to take a few minutes to tell you something with regards to the Prime Minister's visit to Shell and BP in London on his way back from Saudi Arabia.
Go right ahead.
Now, what happened is that we don't know what deal and terms and conditions the Prime Minister agreed with Shell and BP
Correct.
for shares on Train 2 and Train 3 at Atlantic LNG. Now, Train 1, BP and Shell relinquished their shares on Train 1. However, the government of Trinidad and Tobago and NGC, they went ahead and spent some money to upgrade Train 1. Now, the question is this. We don't know what deal was struck with the Prime Minister, with the amount of shares or what are the revenue
Correct.
to be generated from Train 2 and Train 3. But
Correct.
here it is. The BP and Shell, they are the multinational that send the gas to Train 2 and Train 3. Now, Atlantic LNG is selling the gas to, let's say, Singapore at the price of $18 US for MMBTU.
18.
18.
All right.
Now hear this. Now here this is going to be interesting. When the government of Trinidad and Tobago Finance Minister Colin Imbert, when he pegged the budget with the price of gas at, let's say, $3 US for MMBTU.
Yes.
I want to know, and that based on the Henry Hub, I want to know what deal that was signed in the agreement with Shell and BP for train 2 and train 3, and if they're going at the $18 for MMBTU, if Colin Imbert is going to revisit the budget and peg it at the $18 that they are getting for sale of train for Atlantic train 2 and train 3. Now, with regards to the Dragon gas deal, I am seeing the revitalization of Petro-Caribbean. Petro-Caribbean was part of Hugo Chavez's deal for all the Caribbean islands to supply them with petroleum products.
Yes.
Now that the United States has relaxed the sanction to Venezuela to give Trinidad and Tobago the license for the Dragon gas project. Now that Dragon gas project would not see the benefit of that within the next couple of years because they have to do pipeline and stuff. Here's the nice thing about it. Why I am saying the revitalization of Petro-Caribbean, that gas will be coming from the Dragon gas field into Shell's platform on the North Coast.
Yes.
And I believe I believe that gas, now the amount of gas coming, Shell will have to upgrade their platform on the North Coast to accommodate most of those gas. That gas will be coming to that platform, and some will be going to Atlantic LNG. And NGC will play a very important role in that gas that's going downstream to the Pordisas industrial estate. But here what I anticipate. I anticipate that a gas line will be built from that platform on the North Coast, Shell's platform, straight up the islands that where Patrick Manning wanted to do when we had a lot of gas. So which means to say, Petro-Caribbean, that gas will be going up to the islands. And I want to make this particular note. Guyana, what is happening with Venezuela and Guyana? Guyana will have to stand alone. You know why? Because all these other CARICOM islands, they're not getting nothing.
Correct.
From Guyana.
Correct.
With the oil and gas. Because ExxonMobil is shipping the oil to the refinery. Well said. And Guyana is only getting royalties. Yeah. You know what happened? All the other islands are not going to get nothing from Guyana. And if it is that Guyana going to give them, they have to fix all the infrastructure. So that's why a lot of these islands, they are going to support Venezuela instead of Guyana, which is taking place with this referendum on the Essequibo block. Partner, take that, my boy. Good night.
Hey, is a lot of Arabian countries too, from Saudi, going to be getting gas and oil from Guyana, eh? Well, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I hope when Keith and Stuarty them do the negotiation, and you hear Saudi drop some army officials in Guyana, I hope Stuarty and Colin Imbert and Young, I hope they know which plane to jump on, you know. Take white telling all you. I was among some negotiators from Dubai. I know what I'm telling all you. Let me tell you something. Come January, we'll talk about a finance and investment company in Guyana, you know. I'll take white telling all you. Our the big boys, I know what's going on. That is why I told from the beginning when Maduro wanted to take Essequibo from Guyana, I told Stuarty and I told Rowley right here on my program, all you know what all you're doing here now. I hope all you know what all you're doing. Maduro might feel they're mad. But I'm going to tell you something. You see the Muslims and them? They will show you how to be mad. You feel you mad? They will show you what madness is about. Take what I tell you. There's a difference. I could say I'm mad, you know. But one day the next man show me that what madness is all about. Let me tell you something. My madness get good, you know. All I feel is joke. let's joke there quite telling all there. Guyana gonna be the little Dubai of the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago, we once had it. We once had it. But bad management and greed, boy, is a serious thing. It's a serious thing. So moving along now. Minister of Finance, call him in with this. Minister of Finance, Colin Imboud, have stated that the government will not support cryptocurrency, and amid question from Senator Damian Leder about alternative currency business models. However, describing the question as astonishing, Imboud said the IMF had sounded several warnings in a report earlier this year that adopting unbacked crypto asset like Bitcoin would have serious implications for microfinancial stability. Listen to this.
This question I find quite astonishing, that Senator Leder would want to know what we are doing about alternate currency business models in the context of cryptocurrency. The IMF, in fact, has published a paper in February 2023, and I would urge the Senator to update his records. And it's a G20 note on the macro-financial implications of crypto assets 2023. In that document, the IMF sounded a series of warnings under the theme that the adoption of unbacked crypto assets, such as Bitcoin and stable coins, will have stark implications for macro-financial stability. They went on to explain why. That the adoption of crypto assets could threaten the effectiveness of monetary policy transmission and sovereignty. Crypto assets without credible backing pose financial stability risks due to their volatile prices. And where declaring a crypto asset legal tender may create fiscal risks, this will cause risk to public finances.
Trinidad and Tobago, he said, cryptocurrency is also the currency used by drug traffickers, money launderers, and persons who operate in the dark web. Take a list.
In terms of external stability, the entire international monetary system can be put at risk by the adoption of cryptocurrency. In terms of capital flow stability, crypto assets drive higher gross foreign capital positions and more volatile capital flows. In terms of the structure of financial systems, crypto assets with an open architecture are extremely risky because anybody can contribute to these crypto assets. They're prone to fraud and market integrity risks, and it could destabilize the entire international banking sector. Cryptocurrency is also the currency of use of drug traffickers, money launderers, and persons who operate on the dark web. And therefore, I found this question astonishing.
Good thing I only dealing in US and TTS. It's a good thing. People ask me about cryptocurrency. I say, here we go. Your money in the bank? They say, yes. I say, well, leave it right there. Want to make an investment? We'll talk about 4% on fixed deposit. Okay, sir, no problem, we come in. Because they realize that's the highest interest rate that is being paid in Trinidad and Tobago, and they're taking advantage of it. Now, in regards to developing alternative currency business models, he said, the government is not doing that and will not be getting involved with any cryptocurrency. Listen to Imboud one more time.
So you have a situation where the whole world knows that cryptocurrency is dangerous. The whole world knows that cryptocurrency is the preferred currency of criminals. And the whole world knows that crypto assets are backed by nothing. Why on earth would a question come to me as Minister of Finance, therefore, as to whether I may be wishing to develop alternate currency business models? The answer is we are not doing that. We are not getting involved in cryptocurrency. It is dangerous, and as the custodians of the treasury and the public purse, we are not putting the country's assets at risk.
So you heard it from Colin Mimbert. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear a minister saying state sending expelled students to Millat is illegal. Now I'm going to tell you something. You see bullying in school? If I go into a primary school or a secondary school and somebody slap me, let me tell you something. As long as you slap me or you feel it fit to slap me or beat me or abuse me, let me tell you something. You could sit behind a prison cell for years. Because the first thing comes in your mind, but I slap you down and beat you. If that is your mentality in the school, well then I do not see why a judge or a magistrate in Trinidad cannot sentence them to YTC. Because you are preventing other students from learning. So we're going to have more on this after we return.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Real Talk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Real Talk Group of Companies building at number 14 Crony Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
So viewers, keep in mind from next week, Real Talk Record Service will be available to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Only by accident we meet. Or if you have something to transport from point A to point B, whether as a company, whether as a private individual, give us a call and we will be of service to you. So now, remember we are offering 4% also. Education Minister Dr. Nian Gasby Dolly have stated that a mandatory policy to send students who have been expelled from school for bad behavior to a military-led academic training MILAT program is now in effect. Trinidad and Tobago, remember, I continue to talk about school bullying and school bullying and school bullying, and I continue to say as long as they could cause a fight in the school, you're damn well good enough to go to a prison cell. So because of our constant debate and constantly highlighting bullies in school, or because your father is a bajon, you feel you could come and you could do this and do that and do the next, and your father go take up for you. I just tell my son and them going to school, the day all you cause a fight intentionally, I, Saeed, sending all you ITC. I work hard to build a name in the public domain, and you going to school to slap somebody else's child? You going to school to bully somebody else's child? You going to school to beat up somebody else's child? I personally will pick you up, and I personally will sign the document, and I personally will drop your YTC. No child come in to break down my name. As much as I love you, I will train you to suit. After all we have talked about it, listen to this video.
Mr. President, that policy has already been approved by Cabinet and therefore is currently being implemented.
Senator Mark.
Can I ask the Honourable Minister whether there was any consultations with the stakeholders involved in that particular industry before the formulation and final approval of said policy, Mr. President?
Minister of Education.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the school discipline matrix was consulted on with the TTPS, with the Children's Authority, with the Ministry of National Youth Development and National Service, within the Ministry of Education, with the NPTA, and many other stakeholders, and this forms part of that policy.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, after we at Real Talk with Saeed highlighted it, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes 2 times, 3 times for the week, we highlighted school bullying. Let me tell you something, nobody do it like us, you know. Nobody, and I'm damn well sure of that. So the ministry indicated that she has legal authority to instruct that the student can be placed in Millet, which falls under the Youth Development and National Service Ministry. As by Opposition Senator Wade Mark, policy was in effect. Gatsby Dolly stated that the policy has already been approved by the Cabinet and therefore is currently being implemented. That is the video you now heard. So Trinidad and Tobago, all them children and them, who you want to go in school and you want to play your bullying and your bullying and your bullying and your father's a bajon and they can't touch your children. Let me tell you something. From the time you slap somebody's child in school, police coming and picking you up. One time. Parents, do not hesitate to report to the police station that your son have been abused in school by another student. Because police picking up the matter, and according to Gatsby Dolly, we sending you to Millet. So principals in school, let me tell you something, throughout Trinidad and Tobago, I'll back up all on yourself. Because I side will be mentioning all your name and all your school on Real Talk with Saeed every single night. When you play slack about an abuse taking place in your school, I will stink up all your name. Take white telling all you. All you don't want to set an example to get abused children or children who are being abused. All you don't want to take an example, I will mention the school, I will mention the principal. So if you want to know what's good for all you, get yourself in a gear. I don't care if they come from a home where mother beating father. Make a report in the station. You ain't nobody more than father in school. Not because the mother and father fighting, you going in school to fight somebody else. No, you could get your hand off. You could get your eye bust. You could get your two-fronted knockout. So don't go in school and play nobody more than father. Melat will deal with all you. So it's a plus for real talk again. It's a plus for real talk again. Now listen this. Senator Hazel Thomas also asked Gatsby Dolly if she had legal authority to send expelled students to Melat, which was not under her ministry jurisdiction. Gatsby Dolly added, by law, students under the age of 16 are required to enroll in an education institution. She said that as far as possible, the government is committed to giving them every opportunity for transformation so that they can become productive citizens of Trinidad. I like what Gatsby Dolly said, you know. I like what she said. You break the rule, now it's time. You know how that come? That come from Saieed constantly telling you all kind of thing on television. You want to be a minister? Not a problem. We will welcome you in Trinidad and Tobago. We will welcome you to the big stage. But when you sign that document, just tell yourself, you see, that Muslim man they call Saieed, I will be on your heels, making sure you do what you do in your ministry. Now listen to this.
Mr. President, by law, students under the age of 16 are required to be enrolled in an educational institution.
1 second. Senator Thompson, you could take a seat. Go ahead, Minister.
Thank you. However, the Education Act provides for expulsion of students by the minister on the school system. This is the legal framework which underpins the compulsory enrollment of students under the age of 16 into Melat. While these students may have behavioral challenges and may not be able to strive in the school environment, as far as possible, the government is committed to giving them every opportunity for transformation so that they can become productive citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. For those students over the age of 16, while they are not required to compulsorily register, the MOE will continue to recommend their registration at Melat and assist in any way possible to allow them to continue their education in that transformative environment.
So while they're getting the opportunity to go to school, go to school. Because I will tell you something, Melat different. Melat different. Slap me, I slap you. Slap me, I slap you. Kick me, I kick in your back. You want to play man? No problem. Cough me, I cough in your back. Bite me, I bite in your back. You want to play man in school? Go and get man treatment now. You want to play as a rango tango kind of woman or kind of, you know, don't care woman? Good Melat, let it teach you some manners. So with all the highlighting and the talking and the pressing forward, tonight we want to congratulate the minister for these steps. Because believe me, if you didn't put something in place, I'd continue stinking up your name, saying you ain't care about Trinidad and the schools and them. Everybody knows Saieed is doing it on television. We just do it until we get it done. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear the minister saying dropouts get second chance to become a good citizen after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
So welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. Somebody now said something about valuation there. But let me tell you. Tomorrow night, Friday. Oh, before I forget. You know Friday, every Friday on Real Talk with Saieed Ali, in the year 2022, from the time the Diwali celebration ended, Real Talk with Saieed used to run Parang on a Friday. When the Hindu festival of Diwali is finished, we take a break, and after we would start our Friday night Parang show straight down until Christmas. So it's Friday tomorrow night, viewers. It's Thursday the 30th of November presently. So on Friday the 31st, I believe, the 1st, somewhere around there, we will have our Parang Marathon right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So remember that Friday, viewers, we have our Parang show straight up until Christmas. Now hear this. Now hear this, sir. Hey, Trinidad. I just want to tell, I just want to shift from the Gatsby Dolly story about dropouts get secondary chance, right? I just want to highlight this. A 65 years old San Fernando grandmother and her autistic daughter wept as they begged 3 criminals not to hurt them when the men invaded their home early yesterday morning. The woman had intended to visit the bank later yesterday to deposit. She had collected days earlier from tenant of a rental property. Her daughter, who is in her 40s, is autistic and physically disabled. Walks with the use of a cane and also the use of a wheelchair. So it's an autistic daughter walking with the help of a cane and a wheelchair. The elderly woman said she and her daughter were asleep in a bedroom on the upper floor when the house when they were awoke to find 3 masked men, one with a firearm and 2 others with length of iron pipe in their room. The bandits bound the hand and feet of the woman with electrical cord. But before they gagged the elderly woman with a piece of cloth, she asked why she and her daughter were targeted. The masked criminal then stole local and U.S. currency, jewel and electronics item, which they piled into the family Nissan Qashqai SUV vehicle. Police officers of the San Fernando station responded. However, the vehicle was not yet found and no one arrested. Listen to this now. I have to fly out of here. I cannot stay here, she said when asked how she plans to recover from the traumatizing invasion at her home in San Fernando. So Trinidad and Tobago, that woman wants to fly out of her country. 65 years old. Imagine. This is where crime is. Imagine that. But I just wanted to highlight this story. So we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, there's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Friday night, we're going to have our Parang show. Remember, it's a marathon on Friday night, right here at Real Talk with Saieed. 4% on fixed deposit, and we're going to have Real Talk Reckon Service available to Trinidad and Tobago from next week. Until we meet again, good night.